All right, this is the Bachelor Pad. I've got Moon sitting in. We talked about you being on actually since the first or second recording that we did. I was like, this is an interesting fellow. We'll get you in though. So thanks for actually. I was gonna go home tonight and not do one. I was gonna push it off until tomorrow, but just randomly in our weird, bizarre conversation world, it started getting
getting into that point. Yeah, we're just trying conversation.
And
building up.
That is basically what a podcast is, in one way or another. You did make me remember a time where I know, obviously, sex, dating, relationships, or whatever, the core basis behind the Bachelor Pad, but you helped me remember that I banged a chick that, look, and I know it's a little bit of dating myself or whatever, no pun intended, that I'm going to mention a Hustler magazine. At the very back, they had in all the magazines, they'll have hometown honeys or...
Oh yeah, they got all those local phone calls and shit, and phone sex and shit like that, penis pills and all that.
Which,
shit in the
I don't know about you, but I always read the magazine backwards. I would always read backwards, because they always had celebrity nip slips in the back of...
Shit, yeah.
Was that Playboy or...
No, that was on Club.
Yeah?
That was Club.
Because the first time I saw Christina Aguilera's nipple and nip slip was in the back of one of those magazines.
Yeah, it was definitely Club, man. Club was the raunchy shit.
Yeah, it was like a porno. Like if you took it and went
porno, yeah.
and you did the quick
Same
flick
thing
of
with Hustler too, though. Hustler was the same thing also. Hustler was just porn and still shots.
Yeah, and I think if you would have those if you drew those, I knew people that would do it on little pads, and then boom, and it would look like a cartoon moving. Yeah. I'm fairly certain that could be put together in a
in a Hustler magazine. Definitely very possible.
Well, and you brought it to my attention. We had this conversation. I was telling you a little bit about, just once you're around and, once girls have a certain level of comfort around you, it's amazing. And just how half the reason I've ever gotten laid in my life is just working with or being around long periods of time with people.
That is the best way to have, make work relations. Work relations is probably the easiest thing.
Have you cranked a lot at work at places you've worked?
Definitely. Every place I've worked at, easily. At least one or two girls.
Well, and I know I felt that I've had to carry the torch for gingers, right? Redheaded, freckled, whatever, right? You know how many girls that I've been with or dated and they went, oh my God, I can't believe, after a month of dating and it sinks in, I can't believe I'm dating a redhead. And I know it's hard to tell here, but this used to be Fire Engine Red, right? Fire Engine Red. So to do that, and you've got to pull the Asian card, right?
Yeah.
So I know a ton of chicks, and if you ask them hey, have you ever fucked with an Asian guy, right? And that's got to be weird, right? Because everyone wants to crank an Asian broad, right? It's a thing, yellow fever. But the yellow fever in reverse, I would have to assume you have to overcome a couple hurdles, just like a redheaded dude or whatever. No, I wanted the dark hair, blonde hair, blue eyed, all these things. So it's gotta be a similar cross to bear.
There is some hurdles, but there's women out there that like Asian men, so it's just.
Well, I think you guys are a fucking pretty chill, as a grouping of people, Asian dudes are pretty mellow, pretty chill. Very randomly do you see an Asian dude fucking having a road rage incident or flying off the handle or being a dick. You guys, you know how certain things like serial killing, right? That's a white thing.
Yeah, definitely a white thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Black folks, robbing a fucking, a convenience store or fucking a smash and grab, right? That's kind of segregated, drive-by shooting. Not a white guy thing.
No.
Not an Asian thing. So there are certain things that stereotypically are kind of grouped in with people. So yeah, no, that's neat. I know my friend chick, she was my chick's friend. She was totally awesome. She married an Asian dude out in San Francisco, right? Because why wouldn't you? You're in San Francisco. And she's blonde hair, blue eyed, very pretty chick and whatever, had an extremely psychotic high sex drive. And I didn't realize it until I was 4 or 5 years in a relationship with my chick, and I was like, oh, she just wants to lay around and have sex all day in bed and whatever. And I was like, why didn't I pick her? You know what I mean?
Blonde and blue eyes is the typical girl that Asian guys would go for. It's just we're captivated by that. I don't know why. It just seems unnatural, I guess.
Yeah, dude, they had beautiful kids. Their kids are fucking amazingly awesome.
I think Asian is a pretty solid blend for for making babies.
Yeah, skin tone,
Skin
whatever.
tone, everything looks and wise and shit. Yeah.
Unless you've got like the sumo gene, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
The fucking sumo gene, then fucking you're just fucked.
Yeah, you're kind of, unless you're into sumo,
You just
right?
get hit with the ugly stick when you get that, and some of them are just not blessed, man. Some of them just have big noses and shit, and really flat faces, and really fucking defined cheekbones and shit.
But it is a weird hurdle, and if you're not, and I talk about it a lot, like, I was talking about the slow play, and I kind of told you that, look, I've kind of changed my thing. Like, it's, as fall is coming on, I messed around with a bunch of girls, had a lot of good times, and now I'm kind of factoring it down to, look, I want to kind of hang out and kick it with one. Like, we'd also had a conversation about, random shop talk about if you want to have sex, like, there's a chick friend who comes around all the time. She's like, oh, will somebody have sex with my friend, or deflower my friend? She's still a virgin at like 19 or whatever. And I don't really want to. I have to want to have sex with somebody, unless you're really intoxicated, because then you'll do it just because there's nothing better to do.
She wasn't that good looking at all.
But don't you find that it is weird? Like, yes,
If it was a hotter girl, if she was a lot more attractive, and she wasn't like kind of morbidly obese, kind of, yeah, I would probably definitely do it. Yeah, I would definitely deflower a hot 18-year-old chick or a 19-year-old chick.
Yeah, and I don't know.
We'll all have to boil it down to looks for sure for me on that one.
Yeah, and the hotter
the
the
personality would be off there because she would be dumb as the rocks, most.
But then again, when I mentioned the showing them or tootling, and it's a little easier in the blowy in the blowy realm.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tootling them is the best thing, but having conversations with them is probably the worst things. I had a conversation with that fucking Aaliyah chick, and while I was smoking her down, and I was like almost regretting that I fucking brought her along.
Yeah, no, the conversation with a lot of them, but then again, you run into some that are actually heady.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yes,
that they got their head on screwed on tight. Yeah,
but it scares me for some of them. Like I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Like, just being 19 and dumb and running around. Like, please go to school and pick up some kind of extracurricular learning, right? Like,
higher education of some sort.
Because it can be borderline painful to have the conversations.
No, there's like they don't know anything. They're just like fucking dumb as shit. They don't really know how to have conversations or even be, in the same vicinity as someone else, like someone stranger. Can you pause that a second?
You got to drop a fucking real good. You're following in behind.
Yeah.
Well, I'll actually I can't pause it, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
All right.
And I think I talk loud enough, so yeah, I think you'll be abreast of what's happening or whatever. But yeah, have fun walking in there. I was a gentleman and actually left the fan on.
You didn't leave the fan?
No, I did. Yeah, even though I wasn't expecting anyone else to go anywhere near there, but
Got rid of the Blumkin chair?
yeah, it's moved out. All right, so I've had this. I was in one of my retail stores, and here's part of the weird part of doing retail. You do interact with the public quite a bit, and you run into a lot of women, pretty women, cool women, just women. Well, I'm in there, and this woman who comes in, she's got to be mid 30s, super attractive, works out all the time, like super attractive, maybe an understatement. Like I've seen people almost be off-put because she's that attractive, and I talk to her every time she comes in. And the good part is I can speak to everyone, and I get like a weird like talking ghetto pass because I'm working in the store, right? So I'm talking for a reason. And especially when you're friendly and you're having conversations, well, it gets into a conversation on a business idea that I'm trying to bring to life probably by October, November of this year. So, and it's really cool. It plays in the pet realm, and so I was telling her she's also an extreme pet person. So we're having animal talk. I have my dog in the Garden City store. And so we're having this conversation, and it's interesting because we started talking about the business at hand, with Vapor and getting her into a better unit, and then it kind of sidebarred with business and animals. And the more we got into the conversation, obviously everyone that I've even remotely told this business idea to, it's gone over epically. Like, oh my God, how come nobody has thought of this? And dude, if you do that, or you need any help, or dude, can I work there? That kind of response. Well, throughout that conversation, she mentioned doing something with another group that was trying to do something similar, but it was just weird. And she takes out a piece of paper, writes down her phone number, and was like, look, if you think you might, be able to use this piece of, machinery or whatever that, for that business, or you just want to talk over that business, or, dude, it's awesome. But here's my number, give me a call, about any of those situations. So I'm like, cool, right on, blah, blah, blah. Take it, put it in my pocket. And I'm like, well, she leaves, we end up getting her set up. We go back to regular business, talk, niceties. She leaves. And I look over, and, my coworker that was in the store, I went, hey, I go, did you just notice? I just got the super, super smoking hot, lady's phone number. I was like, that was pretty neat. And he was like, yeah, dude, that's crazy. He was like, I've never seen her before. And I was like, yeah, I've talked to her like 4 or 5 times. She's been in here when I've been here. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And I went, oh, if only it was, hey, we should go out and do something sometime. But I think that anytime, and I don't know, and I'm going to ask Moon when he gets back from dropping the kids off at the pool. I already kind of know his take, because he is very forward and, whatever. Like, he would probably call and, hey, you know what are you doing? Do you want to meet up for lunch and talk more about that idea? And it's weird, because I'll look at that, and I've looked at the number, I took it out, put it on my dresser, and I was like, even good penmanship, right? Something attractive about female penmanship. I don't know why I keep looking into the replay camera instead of looking directly into the camera. But I miss out on a ton of opportunities, because I'm it's good conversation beating around the bush, and I have to think about it. Am I overthinking the process? Like, hey, dude, she gave me her phone number and did whatever. I should call. Maybe she'll want to go out and do something. Or do I play it as professional as possible and go, no, we talked about a business idea. Would I really call her or whatever? Could you hear all that, Why in the Hopper?
Nope, I couldn't. That was a deuce.
There was a lot going on in there.
Man, I don't know where that came from.
It was good.
I must have been from all that fucking bullshit. I ate this for lunch. I ate some KFC for lunch.
And yeah,
bad idea.
KFC
man.
You later in the Hopper,
disgusting.
Huh? Well, I went over. There's really hot working with the public, right? I'll kind of cliff note it. Yeah. I'm around a lot of chicks, right?
Yeah.
But got to be professional, right? Hey, how are you doing? What kind of coil? You look wonderful. You look very nice today. Whatever, right? So you got to keep it, professional and politically correct.
I think food service is by far the best place to have interwork mingles going on.
Oh, but this is past interwork mingle. This is hot chick. Told her about the business idea, the animal one. I don't know if I expressed that to you.
I think you told me about this, yeah.
And we had a talk, did whatever. She's in the store, and she's off-puttingly hot, right? She's probably like 35, and would be one of the hottest chicks in like Lifetime.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Right? So probably man-made bolt-ons, right? But perfect, and always dresses the part and whatever, and just hot. Well, we talk about this. She mentioned something about a piece of machinery, I'll call it, for inside. She was doing something along the same lines with another thing, but she has it, and she was like, look, if you'd like to. She just very nonchalantly pulled out, writes down her phone number, gives me her number. And she was like, look, if you ever think you can need that, or, if you need any help, formulating the business plan, because she's a business lady also. She owns a couple of retail places, So we had the talk. So gave me her number, did whatever. She leaves. I end up getting her her new vapor, does whatever, blah, 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 niceties. I look over at John at my other store, and I went, aha. I was like,
success.
Smoking hot lady gave me her phone number. Now, you know as well as I do, in the rules of engagement, you don't give your phone number to anyone willy-nilly.
No.
Now, I have talked to her on a couple occasions, but nothing noteworthy enough to, either my business idea was whatever, and to somebody who's also involved in business, like, fuck, you're on point. Like, you're heady. Because I broke down the whole business model, plan, this, and this, and we had talked it over inside the store. So it's either that, right? Because some people are, somewhat intrigued or, attracted to intellectual prowess of some form or another. And then 2, I looked at it and I went, hot lady gave me her phone number, right? What are you going to do about that? And John was like, no, I saw that. Then I went, but balls, right? To keep it professional. And I was like, and I guess this is we almost need to do a segment. What would Moon do? And I went, I probably already know what you would do. You would go.
I would just go for it.
Yep. Or would you shoot out with a text or a call first? Like a text, hey, what's going on? To identify, hey, this is me.
A 35-year-old, I would probably call her. Yeah.
But maybe she's highly evolved into the younger culture or whatever, and a text.
She could be, but then at the same time, all of her like encounters leading up to her life where she is now. I mean, most of them were done
via
conversations over the phone.
See, now me,
The
because
majority of them, at least, because texting didn't really become a thing over talking to someone till like 2003-ish, 2004-ish. Yeah, that's when people started like disengaging from calling people, because Nokia made cell phones like basically like in every household. That's what basically.
although females, though, they are quick to text, and they did adapt and assimilate to texting a lot faster. Now me, I could even think of a slick way to play it off, like, hey, this is Jake, Jake Vapor Shop, business idea. I know you're busy, because she runs, a couple things. I know you're busy, but hey, do you want, I was thinking I'd like to run a couple things by you, whatever, blah, 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 right? At least throw the line out there. And it's non-committal, right? Because then it's PG. You mentioned the business, you mentioned whatever. So it's sitting there. I've taken it out and I've left it there. And I'm like, oh, she's a neat one. Like, dude, smoking hot and tall.
Yeah.
Right? And just kind of an anomaly in lady form, So kind of weird, right? So that happened, on the business side, which is kind of weird, right? I haven't pulled the trigger of any kind because I'm like, she is an adult. You'd have to do adult things, and let's just say on the weirdest offside, right? It may just be like, hey, I really like the business ideal, and I also like pets. So yeah, we'll talk about it. It's kind of a good idea. Maybe dating and whatever. She could be, any number of things, a lesbo, or this, or that, or whatever. Who knows, right? Right. I doubt. She seems like she likes penis. You get that fucking
women that are forward like that. I mean. And they just give you your number. Like a lot of women that are forward. Like I've been thrown off by women just like hitting. Like guys wish that just women just run up on you and just fucking straight up hit on you like other guys do for women. Yeah, man, it just throws me off, man.
Yeah, because
I'm the one that's usually initiating everything.
You're very offensive.
There's this one time. when I went to meet up with a friend that was like prospective, like a possible prospect of relations, and then she basically bamboozled me and told me to go there, and then I just ended up meeting her friend, who she was trying to hook me up with, which was nice of her. But her friend was so forward that it kind of threw me off, and it kind of like fucked up my mojo, man. Threw my game off a little bit, man. So she was a nice little. She was pretty hot.
Yeah.
She was pretty hot. I was kind of sad that she was let go because I was just kind of thrown by that. What I should have said from her advances was ask her if she wanted to go back to the place is what I should have asked, because that's what she was really looking forward to. Because they all just graduated from nursing school and shit, and they were like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna get fucked, get drunk and get fucked. So they decided to go to a strip club, which I should have went. I probably would have been able to bang. They went to the landing strip.
Landing strip.
I suggested the landing strip because, from conversations with you, I even told them, I was like, the closest strip club that's worthwhile is definitely the landing strip. And that's all but fucking Romulus, and we're in Ipsy right now. So, and they were like, yeah, let's go. And I was thinking, like, should I go? I have to work at 7 in the morning, and it's 12 right now. So I decided not to go.
So you adulted.
So I adulted, and I shouldn't have adulted, because if I did go and not adulted, I would have hated myself the next morning, but I probably would have been able to smash skins with that fine ass nurse that loved Game of Thrones as much as I did.
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, she was a nerd also.
Yeah, so I mean, it is off-putting when they do, because we don't know. Are you just being friendly? Yeah. Are you just being cool? Because then it becomes, creepy if you jump
This
off
chick,
sides.
I like walked in, said hi to my friends that I recognized, and there was a group of people that I didn't recognize. She came up to me and she was literally like, "Hi, my name is such and such." I'm not gonna release her names, but introduce herself. She's like, "I think you're very cute, and I just wanted to tell you that if you asked me for my number, I would give it to you." Exactly what she said to me. She just walked over and said that to me in my face, and I was just like, I didn't know what to say to her. Because
Really?
I was so
you
thrown.
you got fucking put back? That's crazy.
Yeah, man, I was put back by that because I was oh shit. I was just like, fuck, man. I was like, I don't know what I should say right now because there's a group of girls in front of me. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. Like, almost got cold feet, which is fucking real sad. She was real hot too.
Yeah.
You just lose them. Sometimes you just look back and you're like, man, maybe if I did it differently, maybe, because sometimes you just make eye contact with random strangers and, it almost feels like there's a connection for a hot second there. If there was a prolonged situation that you two were in, that you could, figure out some things about each other.
Which totally baffles me with you because I've seen you just Wild West. You know what I mean? You throw it out there,
But
which
I feel for it, though. I feel for it.
yeah. See,
for it mostly.
I'm much more of I pull the make them jump off sides.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am a friendly dude and whatever, and I play it and just see how like the chess match of as it goes and whatever, and if it gets to that point, cool. Because there was a chick that I met in here a long time ago that cool, man, hot, fucking whatever, and I was like, oh, cool. But it was very, of course, professional, this, and this. Well, then didn't see her for like 2 months, and then came in, and I went, hey, what's going on? I remembered because there's something about hot chicks, and dude, there's something. I'm sorry, dude, you're an attractive woman. You come walking through the door. Hey, what's going on? You look very nice today, and whatever. And I see, and I went, wow, you've been gone like a month. She was like, oh, you remember me? And I went, yeah. But we had a weird conversation, and that conversation, she was pretty open and
Was she blonde?
Strawberry blonde.
Was she like older?
No, young.
Okay, all right.
You know, daddy's.
Oh, yeah,
she was 20 or 21. So again, I'm like 20, 21. So I'm immediately taking myself out of the equation. Like, there's no way that's going to happen, right? Like, obviously, in the initial, hey, what's going on? You're 20, 21. It's not, right? So I'm not being like, I'm not being a creep. I'm not doing whatever, but I'm going to be friendly and nice and whatever. And obviously, you're a pretty girl. You're going to gain attention. That's normal. But yeah, it ended up being a weird conversation. She came in the next day and went, oh, ha, 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 blah, 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 blah. Came in, had a conversation, and then the power went out, in Wayne, Canton, whatever. And she was like, oh, something about something. I don't know how, but she asked me something. I had my business cards here, and I was like, well, here's my card. There's whatever. Something about going out somewhere. Yeah. She was like, oh my God, I love that place and whatever. And blah. And I was like, well, cool. I was like, well, I was like, here's my number. Or she was like, let me know the next time you go. And I was like, well, here, my cell number's on the card or whatever. I was like, shoot me a text. And I go, if I think about it, I'm kind of stupid with that stuff, but I think about it, I'll shoot you out a text next time we go, right? Very non-committal. Not, hey, let's go out. I'll take you out or whatever. And then she went and was like, oh my God, power's out and whatever as we were leaving. And she was like, oh, power's out, this, and this. And I was like, oh. And it was like wintertime. Yeah. And I went, oh. And she went, oh, well, you can come by, you can come by here if your power's out. And I went, oh. Now that, dude.
Was an invitation.
That was an invitation.
Yeah.
But I also have my dogs at home. And it's cold as balls, right? And I kind of got to make sure my dogs are cool. I got to let my dogs out. I get there. My dogs are freaked out. There's no light, no whatever. And I'm like, nah, do I? You know what I mean? The power's out. It's freezing. I got to be under 3 blankets. My dogs seem to be kind of freaked out. There's no lights and whatever, right? So, yeah, balls. So I passed it. Now, don't get me wrong. I regrouped and I did end up hanging out with the chick and whatever. And it went sideways after a while because she ended up being 20, right? But did enter in and did hang out for a while, right? So it was cool and it was fun and I liked her spirit and whatever, but what are you going to do? You're 20.
You're 20 years old.
You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do. I mean, it was cool, right? Random run of the mill. Hey, let's go do something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We go run around, do stuff, have good times, and it was solid.
Yeah.
What's the youngest you've dated lately? Or dated or messed around with or whatever?
think the youngest would probably be 19. Yeah, 19.
It's interesting, but there's no. I hate to bring up old rap music, but there's no future in your fronting, right? There's no. It is what it is. It's fun if you're in that mode, which I was in for like the last like 7-8 months. Cool. You want to have all your 19, 20-year-old dudes are playing video games and sitting in a basement somewhere? Hey, I'm down to go grab something to eat and go downtown or go do whatever, right? I mean, it's cool. It's fun, but there is no longevity in it.
Nah, there's nothing. You can't build any relationship off of it, really, in like meaningful relationship. Like,
If anything, friendship, mentoring,
sure,
like, hey, have a good time, kind of give them a heads up on the little issues they're having in their life. Granted, they look good and they seem to like the sex and whatever, but 20 is a good, you get into the 21 to 23s and they're still in the wild bar drinking phase.
because they're like at 20, they're at that point where it's like 1 year from being able to go out and just get shit-faced, blackout, and get fucking cocks railed up in you and shit. And when you're 20, you're just like, you almost can't do crazy things like that yet, so you just happen to attach yourself to someone else that can.
Yeah.
And then you're just doing the party yourself.
Yeah, it's
no going out to bars or anything. It's just
and I've kind of lost the age, the age number thing. It really doesn't matter to me, right? You're 19, 20, 21, 23. There's people that I've actually like, I was like, "Oh, I assume she's 21, right? I see her at bars. Come to find out she's not 21, she's 20."
Yeah.
And then, "Hey, it's my 21st birthday." And I'm like, "Whoa." It is kind of odd and awkward because you do have to ask them sometimes, especially, dude, they need to have like they need to be wearing clothing with a number on the back.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to a couple who are like, "Hey, so blah blah blah," and kind of forward-ish and like, "Oh yeah, well, dude, we should hang out, whatever." And I was like, "Right on, sure." And then telling a story about something, and I was like, "Dude, you're fucking, I was like, "Yeah, like how." "Oh, I'm, whatever." And I was like, "No, I can't hang out with you. You're, you're fucking 17 and 3/4. You know what I mean?" I was like, "No." "Well, what?" No, I was like, "No." I'm like,
Not
that's,
yet.
yeah, I was like, that's weird. But that is kind of weird not knowing, you know what I mean? And I guess when you're fun and doing fun stuff and people, that's fun, let's hang out. And I'm like, wow. I mean, granted, that's only happened once where somebody asked to hang out. And I was like, wow, well, that's neat and very, cute, attractive girl. But I was like, no. I was like, can't, just on the off chance, even being friends or whatever. I'm like, no. I'm like, there's something about being an adult, and that's what it's weird. That's where I get my balls busted by the 35, 40-year-old girls that I know. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you if that girl's 23 or 18. I don't know the difference.
They all look the same at that age. Anyway.
And I kind of just gauge them as they're cool and fun and whatever, and But then,
that's all you can really do. I mean, you can gauge them on their fucking intellect, on their life experiences and shit.
I just never knew you had to card people and whatever, like.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. Just get older and older. That's what happens.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll ever pull the trigger on on that deal with old girl. But I mean, I should. I'll probably take the low road and I'll shoot out a text and be like, "Hey, blah blah blah."
You should, because them titties are fucking fat.
No, they're awesome.
They're
like
amazing titties.
To give it lifetime fitness.
All
like
she needs to do is a couple squats and her ass will be.
No, dude, it's
very
nice.
defined.
Everything's there.
Yeah,
Like
everything's there.
it's weird. Like it's off-putting. The only way that makes me even more comfortable and whatever, because I'm in a business setting, just talking to her randomly, I probably would have been like, oh, like backpedaling a little bit, but because it was business related, I'm in my comfort zone, right? I'm in my hey, what's going on? I have every
Does
rate
she come in often?
to my other store.
Oh, to the.
Ironically, every time I'm in my other store, yeah, not every time, but that's where I think I've seen her or been around her like probably 4 times over the last.
Probably makes her pussy wet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be a great
Probably
physiological
sitting there
response.
Fucking just soaking, listening to you and your fucking debauchery stories and shit. That's what she keeps on coming back.
Oh, I'm 100% politically correct in front of them. I've never told her. The bad part is, and I've thought about doing, with doing this and all the weird stuff, midget in a hot tub and, all these, random things, that in doing so, even if I, when you date someone and you play whatever, all this is fucking saved for history's sake and whatever, and be like, you did what? And you were doing this like a 35, and like, dude, you banged like a bunch of 19 to 23-year-olds over the last 6 months, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not I'm over pretending to be anything. Like, dude, this is what I've done.
Yeah.
Have I been privy to, midget and hot tub story? Don't be a mo with my buddy going in the bad place and whatever. Like, look, all these things are real. I'm not hiding shit from anyone. Any girl I get involved with, like, I've hit this weird. I'm owning all my shit, almost all my shit. Probably you're in my fantasy football stuff. That'll be probably the only thing that I hide. Or not hide, but dance around, tiptoe.
Yeah.
But in my stand-up and, all that stuff, because I'm probably going to start, doing stand-up, that's going to be a very strong line that I'm going into. And actually, I'm debating on possibly doing that segment, about, the wonders of bathhouses and whatever. I did tell a story about the reverse karate chop and whatever. Bathhouse story,
reverse karate chop,
which was pretty odd and whatever. So that was pretty interesting.
You know that when she said, she attended that concert that week, Faster Horses. I was just like thinking, like, in my mind, what I was thinking the whole time was like she was getting fucking plowed on a haystack. In fucking Faster Horses. It
is a country. It is a
fucking debauchery country concert.
It's a country like Woodstock.
It is a country Woodstock.
We need to go next year. You countryed up with a cowboy hat and
I don't think I'll do the cowboy hat.
Come on, dude, with a like a wheat thing, like in the.
I'll do some Wranglers and some fucking cowboy boots and shit.
Come on, chaps.
Maybe a fucking flannel and shit.
No, seriously. I mean, when in Rome. But dude, it is a.
I might just go just looking like a prep, whatever.
All right. Well, this is funny. I went to Hank Williams, and this is how I don't pre-think these stories, and the fact that I have like 3,200 of them.
Yeah.
Go to Hank Williams Jr. Right. Go to Hank Williams Jr. We go out there, and of course, on the way out there, just like the Hagen story. I don't know if you heard the Hagen podcast. That we're like, oh. But on the way out there, my buddy and I, we were driving. I had a souped-up truck with a Mustang motor and shift kit, like race truck. Like, I was as country as you could be.
Yeah.
And we're driving out there, and we're like, dude, we need to fucking bang something. Like, we need to bang. And this is how guys think, right? If there's any ladies listening, dude, we're pre-gaming like, dude, we're going to go there, we're going to listen to some country music, we're going to drink some beer, we're going to bang something. I don't even care if it's not cool something, but we're driving all the way to fucking Auburn Hills or whatever, Pine Knob or whatever the fuck's out there, right? So we're 45 minutes away. We're going to crank something. Let's find something to crank, get a hotel room. Hopefully they live nearby and whatever. So we go out there. We are banged up, right? We're drunk and whatever. Some girl comes up and was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Was like, hey, you need a beer? And I was like, yeah, let's go get a beer. And I was like, fucking A, right? Like, came up to me again, because I'm not the super forward type. I think maybe there was enough eye contact and whatever, right? Oh, let's get a beer. So we get me and my buddy and her friend and whatever. We go get a beer. We come back, a lot of cheersing and whatever. Somehow throughout that conversation, right? We're like, hey, what do you got? I think I finally, once I'm engaged, right? I'm not huge on the open generally. But once the tires are moving, I was like, so what's up? Where are you guys from? And whatever. And we're, do the Michigan fucking thing where, we're from up here, like fucking Traverse City. And I was like, y'all drove fucking all the way from, blah, blah. And I was like, no shit. So you guys are fucking drinking with us and doing whatever. And I think you could still get mixed drinks there. So I think we were doing Jack and Cokes and beers and whatever. And and I was like, y'all are driving back? And we're like, yeah, well. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I was like, dude, you're cool. I was hoping you lived around here because I'd like to, fucking hang out with you or get a chance to hang out with you or whatever instead of listening to fucking really loud country music, whatever. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And fucking they go back to talking, like they huddle, right? Like two football teams and break.
Discussing their plan. Now
and they went, well, what are you guys doing? Are you going home? Fucking, I'm an adult. I can do anything I want. I can fucking drive to Canada. Yeah. Fucking get to the Detroit River, swim to Canada, at least attempt to. I can do whatever I want. Well, what do you guys think about hanging out and whatever? Fucking, yeah, what's up? Like, do you want to come back our way? And they were like, no, if we can find a hotel room around here. Now, I don't know if you've ever ventured out in the Pine Knobby area and whatever.
I've been to Auburn Hills a couple times, but it's been a long time.
You get off on side roads and shit from there, and letting out, it's all slow.
Yeah.
So we fucking get out and we're driving around and I'm like, come on, man, hotel. And this is before fucking,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Siri fucking whatever, right? So I'm like, fuck. And we're driving around. We find one of those, like when you're in Irish Hills, that flat motel that has like 6 doors and it's like the Naughty Pine Inn.
The one
story, 6 room, or maybe
yeah.
a U shape or something.
Yeah.
Or an L.
They have those hotels have hourly rates and shit.
Yeah. Well, I was baffled, and we're drunk, right? And we're driving around. I'm either gonna run out of gas, we're not gonna get anything, whatever. So we find like the Naughty Pine Inn or some shit.
Yeah.
So we get there, right? We get there, we're like, fucking A, right? Mission accomplished. And we get in, and mine was redheaded, right?
Yeah.
So I'd never had red on red love, which is kind of like universe stopping, right? It's an anomaly. You never see 2 redheads together, ever, right?
No.
I'm intrigued to see what the sexual, proclivities of another
Did she
fucking.
have like a fire crotch bush? Because I never banged a redhead either.
No, I think she was shaved, or it was completely like, like it was it was the putting green,
Yeah.
So
Shaved, but it was still coming out a little bit, and it wasn't all
yeah,
spiky and
but
shit.
it was she was as red could be, but had abs, right? Like she was super like in shape, like thin and whatever, and she was wearing like a shirt with like a little vest and country, and I had a fucking cowboy hat on or whatever, right? I think I just got back from Texas, so we get there and we get in the room and we're like, yeah, fucking room, and we figure there's 2 of us. Right? And I don't know how about it these chicks are, but I've lived a pretty weird existence. I've cranked with my buddy cranking on the bed, right next to it or whatever. Or sometimes chick will be shy and go in the bathroom. But I was never, my buddy was the guy, he was the bathroom bandit. He would always go and bang in the bathroom or in the shower.
Plenty of room in the bathroom, though.
Yeah.
Plenty of room.
I just kind of, just default to the bed. Like, I'm getting the bed. If you want to crank right there, you're more than welcome, but I'm not getting up and moving.
It's definitely better on the bed, though.
Yes. So get this. So then we get there, and then, what are you doing? We need beer. We need alcohol. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. Fucking, I was lucky enough just to find a goddamn hotel room.
Yeah.
So now I got to find alcohol in the middle of this fucking wilderness that is Auburn Hills or whatever. And, blah, blah, blah. Well, here, you 2 go. They send us to go find beer, right? So my buddy and I, now we're game planning. I'm like, dude, what are the odds we're going to find fucking a place to fucking sell beer? There's got to be a party store or something. So we drive around aimlessly, right? Down these curvy fucking wooden pine. It was like a Friday the 13th movie, right? Like, we're going to
Why
be...
didn't you just ask someone?
There's fucking nobody around.
At the hotel and shit?
There was that one fucking dude, Cooter or whatever, and I don't know. We just took off driving.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking younger and I'm fucking horny, right? And I'm going to drive until I find beer and I'm going to come back and have sex with a redhead, right? And I'm really excited about this because this has never happened before. I actually did it in Vegas, and that's another great story. But so we find beer, right? We come back and they're like, oh my God, I thought, like, they're tired now. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. Fucking beer. Woo, country music. Turn on the fucking radio, whatever. So we get to drinking beer. So we're drinking again for like another probably hour, right?
Yeah.
And we're drinking beers and we're drinking beer and we stay up late. I think we got some fucking, doggone, like pints or whatever.
Oh,
so we're
okay.
drinking and we're already banged up when we get there. So we do. And it's been a long day and a long night and whatever. I think I worked all day, went to that concert, fucking, it was hot as balls, got these chicks and whatever. So now we're sitting there. Well, we're making out. Ray gets up and goes in the other room. So we're making out and we're doing whatever. And I fucking unbutton. And just like, it was weird. It's the first time I've been with a chick who looked like a collegiate sprinter, right?
Yeah.
She fucking unbuttons, dude, abs, this and that. The body is amazing. We're messing around and whatever. And she's kind of like, she keeps stopping and saying stuff like, well, blah, 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 this, like, and I'm like, no, let's just fucking do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm here. And I'm like crocked at that point, like wasted and super tired. And it's got to be like 4:30 in the morning now, right? And I'm like, so we're making out and we're doing whatever. And I try, and she was like, oh, not so fast, slow. She's very passionate and doing whatever. So it was very 8th grade make-outy.
Yeah, that's probably what she's used to.
And yeah, not us in the city, right?
No.
It's like
Spit on it.
spit on it
Go
and
for it.
and get to business. So we're doing whatever. I take off. My hat was on the bed, and I take my hat and I hang it on the fucking very country western shit. I hang it on the bedpost, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing whatever, and I'm like, why are you not touching my penis or a blowy or whatever? And every time I tried to do something, whatever. So she had me stopped at like everything from the waist up, and then fucking we're kissing and doing whatever and cuddling, and it was very like notebooky and not whatever, right? I'm like
Nicholas Sparks shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm really like seriously.
Like, where's Ryan Gosling at?
And I pass out.
Oh.
With her laying on top of me.
Oh, I've had a situation like that before.
It was my first pass out.
Similar, on a fucking girl that oh my god, I was trying to get with this girl for a long time, and then finally when I get the opportunity, like we actually fucking make out at my place. We're like, I'm on the couch, bro. We brought her back from like a fucking crazy EMU party, Eastern party in Ipsy, and fucking brought her back to my place in my apartment in Ipsy, and started making out, and then her friends went in the bathroom and they were fucking making out. And I was like, alright, I'm about to fucking smash this big titty bitch. Started making out. She went to go check on her friends and shit. And then I wake up in the morning, like literally just fucking passed out on the couch. That's what happens when you do too much drugs and drink alcohol and shit. And you're just fucking tired as fuck from drinking all day. Just missed the golden opportunity. And then I wasn't able to capitalize on that because the following week when I saw her next, I ended up beating up her friends because they were talking shit. And I never talked to her again because she thought I was an animal.
Yeah.
Which I am an animal. And they were talking shit, so they had the right to get their ass kicked. And plus it was me against two of them too. And it was glorious. I wouldn't take that back. That was
you'll sacrifice that to the vagina gods.
Yeah, that was glorious, man. And plus they were like 10 years younger than me, so like they were like kids. They were talking shit because I look like a scrub, and when you get older, sometimes you just don't give a shit about what you look like when you go outside. You just fucking put on whatever the fuck's comfortable.
Yeah, which ironically is in vogue now. Like if you come out in pajama pants looking like Wiz Khalifa, you're a fashion
like,
star.
Oh my god, that shit's the fucking steez, man. I'm gonna wear fucking pajama pants. And
dude, you have bare slippers on, I
was like looking like a scrub. I was like on a wife beater and a fucking Michigan shorts, like some Michigan shorts like these, and a fucking wife beater. I was just going over there to fucking smash. That's all I was doing. Just going over to fucking smash with my buddy. He was gonna smash one chick and I was gonna smash the other. And then these fucking douchebags came up for the other girl's roommate, and they kind of knew each other and they kind of knew everyone, and they were talking shit. So, and they were like, "You gonna do something?" And then I just fucking bitch smacked this white dude so hard in his face that he knocked a cigarette out of his mouth and shit. And he fell back on the stairs and shit. And this boy got into it. It was a black dude. Maybe he thought you could intimidate me by his skin color, but I whipped the shit out of him. It didn't matter. It was fucking great.
Note to self: not all black people can box. I.e., goddamn World Star and whatever, right?
Yeah,
like shit, Jesus, if that hasn't exposed everything, like this dude's getting knocked out in front of party stores by like 50-year-old men and shit, all thugged out and gangster. The old man's just sitting there minding his business and happened to be an ex.
Shit out of him.
Dude, that is still my favorite. I don't know if you've seen that one or whatever, but
I have seen it. Yeah.
They were like, "Don't mess with old school," and the dude, like big burly dude, walks up and, but the red on red, right? So I wake up in the morning, right? Birds chirping because we're in the fucking wilderness. Birds chirping, whatever. I wake up and I've got this beautiful little body and whatever on me and whatever, and I'm like, and she had buttoned shirt back up and whatever, but she's laying all Nicholas Sparksy on me, and I'm like. Here I am, like just cuddling it, like
made love to her, but all you did was spoon her.
And I was like, oh, so I let the hands go, as if I would have, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, boom, boom, because I don't know what happened, right? It literally could have been an alien abduction. That shit happens in the pines and whatever, also, right? Yeah. So I'm hands down, and she moves around a little bit, and I, begin to dive. That thing is like poking in her, in her belt buckle and whatever, and I'm like, oh, and she was like. My hands as she reached back and went, she was like, "Oh, no. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Girl, you're killing me." She was like, she kind of pushes back and went, "Oh, no. You passed out on me." She was like, "Nobody passes out on me." And of course, I'm not as evolved as I am now and go, "Dude, what took so long? I'm sorry, I can only like longingly make out and like pet your hair for a certain amount of time." And
exactly.
That
dude. Foreplay should only last for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was extremely elongated foreplay. So I'm like, dude, come on. I'm like, look, look. Like, I'm like, hey, look, I know you can feel that. And she was like, no, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. And I think I finally talked her into a make out like handy in the morning. And she was like, and she gave me the, well, and she was like, no. Now, I don't know. In my elder time, maybe she was just passing it off to not actually have sex or whatever, right? Like we weren't really going to do it, but now she's playing like we were going to do it, and I passed out and whatever. I hate to sound like Vince Vaughn. Like, do you go in for the full hug or the ass out hug or the the fucking ouch, you're on my hair, you know what I mean? And I'm like, no. So I think we messed around, and I think I convinced her, or I begged and pleaded. It wasn't one of my finer moments. Like I pleaded for a handy. Like I would have.
You're left with blue balls, dude. Like what the fuck?
And fucking pass out, wake up blue balls. So we didn't, but she was like, well, I guarantee you, she was like, you don't know what you missed. And she's playing it up, and I'm like, who are you? Like, where was all this talk last night instead of fucking
games,
the
man.
Notebook, harps playing in the background, and now you don't know what you missed, and all this, and I ended up fucking, I think I talked her into pull the covers over and a make out handy and whatever,
Yeah.
and she was like, well, if you want to know what it's really like, come up and see, okay, blah blah blah. And
Fuck that. I'm not
So-
driving to Traverse City or some pussy.
I literally on the way out, I told my buddy, I was like, we're going home taking a shower, and I'm driving to fucking Traverse City.
Oh,
It was
shit.
like, there's the ginger on ginger action, like the world may end, or maybe like Superman in the
Well, I guess
fucking...
it would have to depend on what she looked like and how it was, man, because Traverse City's kind of a distance.
Yeah, and I had never been that far. Dude, my boner could have drove. I could have taken a nap.
That's like 300 miles away.
My cock would have been like a sock puppet driving, like just barely like head above the steering wheel, like, come on, Traverse City. It's due north, right? We only have to take a left once we get
You're
way
like
up
on
there.
the same road for like a long time. Yeah. You're just going straight up and then you curve.
I totally forgot about my hillbilly. You mentioned the faster horses or whatever, but yeah, dude, that was it. Red on red, and I passed out. I was the only pass out I've ever had.
Yeah, that was the only pass out I ever had. When the one that I just told you, and it was very similar to what your story was, but it wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't at the concert. We were just at a frat party and shit like that. But yeah, I fucking rescued her from some fucking creepy dudes and fucking got her back to my place. Fucking, she was on top of me and fucking making out on the couch, and I was like, yes, this is finally happening. After a fucking year of work, man.
Oy.
Year of work. Not even like hardcore work. I wasn't like dating her or anything. We were trying to take her out on dinners and shit, but just hanging out. Just being around her for like a fucking year. Seeing those fat ass titties and shit.
And
Having
just
to listen-
needing to know what the
Yeah.
deal was.
Having to listen to that bullshit ass Hootie the Blowfish that she loved so much. She
Oy.
loved Darius Rucker.
Darius
dude.
Rucker, bro.
Oh my god. I was like, he was alright back then when he was with the Blowfish, but now he's just like full on country. He just seems like a white dude in a black man's body. But then, yeah, and I fucking passed out. Missed out my opportunity. I look back on that day still. I'm still sad.
Yeah.
I look back on a lot of chicks, man, because a lot of missed opportunities out there.
Well, and that's why I like your overall style of just buckshot. Now, I think sometimes it can be too aggressive, only
Oh, for
because
sure.
I'm so far back.
Well, it's aggressive also because I'm just like almost having fun with it because it's almost
No, it's comical. It's become part of your persona
yeah,
almost.
it's almost unrealistic.
If you didn't, it would freak me the fuck out.
Yeah.
If you came in here, like I look at you and go, did you not hear what they just said? Like, what is your fucking major malfunction? Are you still full? Did you just eat? Like, do you have to wait 15 minutes? You're gonna get a cramp if you don't start hitting on the chick like immediately. Like, and then once
some
you
of
get
them-
going, I'm like, there he is.
some of
There's
those
my guy.
females- Some of those females they're just worth it. But then at the same time, it all depends on how I feel at the time. Like last week, I was just Horn Dog City, just need some release. I should have fucking made that proposition last week to fucking Aaliyah.
There you go. Oh, you want to hear the Cliff Noted where I finally years later did do the Red on Red Love, and it was in Vegas. And Vegas is it's fucking Vegas.
Yeah.
All weekend there, party, whatever, this and that. We're leaving. My flight leaves at like 6:30 in the morning. We're walking down the strip and we run into an Irish pub. Run in. Tall redheaded chick, like 5'7", 5'8" redheaded chick, and tall brunette. And I tell my boy, right, who I think wants to wingman with me, he's wasted.
Yeah.
Completely out of his shit. So we're going to cliff note this and make this one as fast as possible so we can actually go home and go to sleep at some point tonight. As we're doing it, or as we're in the bar and we're drinking and whatever, So I really don't care. I'm not even trying. I got to catch a plane, right? There's not enough time to facilitate a meet, hang out, and whatever. And we're staying at the Venetian, which is cool. Kind of in Vegas, that's one of your things. It's not like where do you work, what do you do, whatever. But where are you staying? I was like, I'm at the Venetian, right? Which could be a leading question because if you're close by, hey, I mean, let's go to the house and crank real quick. But I'm at the Venetian. I'm like, oh my God, we're staying in Old Vegas and whatever. It's kind of, dingy, whatever. How's the Venetian? I was like, dude, it's a palace, except everything's in Italian. And I don't fucking speak Italian, right? So I could barely find, it's like in The Shining where you're going around the hotel all the time and you can't, all the rooms look the same. Dude, and we're up and over, and then you get off this elevator and walk through a wing and then go through whatever. Like, it was horrible to find. Yeah. So we end up talking, and I begin to profess all the things I know that I was like, look, I would hit on you or whatever, but it's completely futile. And she was like, why is that? And I was like, you're a ginger. I was like, red on red, right? And I was still pretty fucking red. And she went, and I was like, seriously, I go, let me guess. And I started playing some of the mentalist tricks because I've studied FBI profiling, facial recognition, body language experts, all the things to aid and assist in sales, right? Everyone's like, oh, you're really good at sales. I've read like 38 books on how to decipher all the things, and I'm oddly observant as it is. So then I went into other things like the Mentalist. I've read the Mentalist Manifesto, right? So as I'm doing it, I'm like, and I was like, let me guess. You like dark skin, dark whatever, even erring on black. I bet you find a lot of black guys attractive, but you do like dark skin, whatever. Let me guess. Your last 3 boyfriends were olive skin, dark haired, blah blah blah. Oh my God, how do you know whatever this and this? And then talked about a few things sexual, and she started playing with her hair, bit her lip, and I was like, look, I don't want to go in and I didn't even like think of it when it was happening, but when we talked about this and talked about that, and we talked about a couple things sexually based, you bit your lip and you did whatever, right? And you did, not to say that you actually feel that way about me, but you're feeling some kind of way this evening. Sure, yeah. And she was like, oh my God. And she stopped twirling her hair and was like, what? How do you? So then it was party trick time, right? She'd ask me stuff or do whatever. I'd point somebody out there. Then we'd talk, or then she'd go up and, hey, this, and this. And she, oh my God, you were right. She was like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm a crafty one, right? And she was like, and I think I went for the both of them or whatever. And her friend was like, no, you're beating up the wrong bush. But I know her. And she was like, damn, well, if you didn't have to leave and whatever, why didn't you start this conversation, about possibly knocking that one off the record books of red on red love? Because nobody's ever done it. I'm like, you're redheaded. You've never slept with a redhead. Have you ever known any other redheaded friends? Or it's just, that is a perfect Vegas. And she was like, why didn't you start this conversation earlier if you got to catch a plane? And I went, oh, I don't know. I was like, fuck, if that was or I think before that I was like, oh, if that was the case, I'll invite you back to look at my bathroom, because the bathroom in the Venetian is nicer than most people's hotels. So she looked at her watch, looked at whatever, looked at her friend and went, so what about that bathroom? And I went, oh, I was like, fuck it, let's go. So we run out, like I grab her hand and we run out and we hail a cab. We catch a cab, and it was only like 4 or 5 blocks from where it was. I didn't really know. We pull in, we walk through the maze that is the Venetian. We walk in. My drunk buddy who was there, I see this pretty black chick walking out. And, I have things for dark-skinned ladies. And I was like, oh. She comes walking out, and I kind of made eye contact with her, trying not too much to, like, throw off what I'm doing. But I was like, when she kind of gave me that. She gave me a weird look, like a creeped out, like shamed, but, hey. And I was like, that was a hot little number. So we walk in, get in my room. My fucking dickbag buddy, right, who's my business partner, fucking, perpetual fucking roommate, whatever for life, hetero life mate, for Christ's sakes at this point. He's passed out and fucking sleeping on the bed, passed out. And like partially, like either naked or just in boxers. So we walk in and I went, and this is happening. And she went, oh, I'm going to check out the bathroom. She was like, oh, that's nice. I'm going to check out the bathroom. She goes in the bathroom. I walk over to my buddy and I'm like, hey, I'm like, dick brag, fucking get up. Get fucking whatever. I got a chick and fucking do some banging. I got to catch a flight. And he's like, zombie drunk. Yeah. And I'm like, I really don't care, right? And I'm like, I lift him up. Dude, he looks in. He's like, And he was like, the redheaded chick. And I was like, yeah, right? Fucking, this is make for a good story. Push him out the door. She was like, is he going to be okay? I was like, he's fine. He's just going to fucking lay down there and go to sleep. We'll probably have to step over him when we get out, right? We're in the Venetian. Yeah. It's a nice hotel. This can happen. So I look back and she fucking turns the shower on, glass shower, right?
Yeah.
Marble and all this and glass shower. I think she was wearing like a sundress or whatever, and it just falls, and she opens the thing and steps in the shower. And I went,
Yeah.
like I'm a basketball player with tearaway clothes. So I tear off the clothes, we hop in the shower. So I'm like, hey, blah, blah. So we start shower shenanigans, messing around, sex, one leg up, you know, this and this, and whatever. And then she's like, come on, let's get in the bed.
Yeah.
So we get out. We get out, we do whatever. It's the fastest crank ever in life. She lets me pull out, and, you know, I was like, hey, well, where do you want me to? And we weren't using a condom. Like, it was all, like, we could have had, like, the albino super ginger white baby, right? But I didn't. I pulled out. I had my stuff together. So we do whatever, pull out. She lets me pull out, you know, give
On
the
her
facial.
face?
Yeah, and the
Oh,
facial.
Damn, she let you paint her face.
Yes,
Yeah,
which
damn.
was cool. And I was like, ah, she's a redhead. She's got to be a creep like me, right?
not that
Come to find out she was. So it was good. So we crank, we do whatever, this, and this. High five. And I hadn't even packed. And she was like, oh my God, it's getting close to time. And I was like, how cool is that, right? Like, we high five. There was no get my number, call me later, whatever. It was like, let's just bang this out and go.
Let's go.
So I threw them, and I figure my dick rag friend's there. He's going to pick up if I left socks or fucking anything. So I throw everything, zip it up, walk out. My buddy's not there. He's in his boxers, and he's not there. So I grabbed my stuff, and I was like, ah, fuck it. He'll be fine, right? Or he's in jail. So
Yeah.
So we're booking it through. We go down, we turn the corner. There he is, sleeping in front of somebody else's door. And she's like, oh, hey, sweetie. And I was like, he's really not a sweet person. I was like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, nothing. Oh, it's cool. All right, I'm going to go back in the room. Turns around, tries to walk in that door. I think he was just grabbing random doors, like he got out in the hallway.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, you're down there and whatever. And I was like, here, hold on. I run him down there. I get him in the room. We run down. I tell the cabbie, boom, 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 take her to where she needs to go. I was like, fine. Gave her a hug and a fucking kiss on the cheek, and kind of that fucking, that was neat, right?
Yeah.
I got and was like, dude, please tell me I'm not going to fucking, plane flights to Vegas are not cheap and whatever, especially when I can't imagine I'm the first one to miss a flight. But I didn't. Cabbie got me there. I kind of told him the story. If I can bang the redhead right in the thing, and it never happens, and gotta love Vegas. Ran through the airport like O.J. Simpson. Boom, got there, got on the plane. Cool, home.
That's fucking ideal.
Now, when I get home, my buddy, right, he flies in later the next day, right? So he gets there, and he's like, and, you know, we're now talking about our last night in Vegas, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that was cool. I fucking, did whatever. And he was like, yeah. He was like, dude, I don't know how you didn't, like, you walked in literally after she walked out, but I banged a little hot fucking black chick. I was walking back, and she's bitching about she fucking lost a bunch of fucking money and this and that. And he was like, oh, yeah, it sucks. It's Vegas and whatever. And gets back and does whatever. And you know, she was like, oh, you know, dude, I don't know. Fucking, like, I'm leaving tomorrow. I don't even have fucking food and, you know, for fucking whatever. I literally gambled all my money away, and she was hating it. And he was like, well, you know, well, he had the random talk, and he was like, well, I mean, I could let you borrow $20 if you want to grab food or whatever. And she was like, are you serious and whatever? And he was like, yeah. And he patted down, and he went, oh, fuck, I don't have any money. I've got money back in my room. And he was like, I mean, it's whatever. If you want to come back, you're cool. I'm, you know, whatever. And he was like, she did I'm grateful. I gave her $20 to fucking whatever. And I was like, how do you? She was smoking hot, and like just appreciative of letting her borrow technically $20. And he cranked him whatever.
Damn.
And that was funny. So the girl I saw passing, because I made comment, I was like, dude, there, and I was like, dude, hot, like fucking 5'3", smoking hot, pretty, whatever. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you bang that? And he was like, dude, it was the coolest thing ever. He was like, you know, and I was like, was she a hooker? And he was like, I don't think for $20. No. And he was like, dude, I have no money, but I've got money in the thing. And he was like, I gave her $20 for whatever. And she was like, oh. He goes, I don't remember if he was like, I was really drunk. I don't remember if I asked her, like, hey, you know, so do you want to hang out? Make, you know, fucking Vegas, you want to bang? I'm catching a flight in the morning, or how it came about. But she seemed pretty appreciative and whatever, and we cranked. And I was like, well, dude, you got that is awesome.
Yeah, that's the best reading right there.
And then the red on red and whatever. So that was our Vegas trip. So pretty cool and interesting. But
pretty solid Vegas trip, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and call that a wrap. And who knows, maybe we'll get Moon back and hear more fucking fighting stories, or fucking, you know, Nicholas Sparks like cuddle sessions or whatever, and we'll see how that rolls. So this is the Bachelor Pad, Jake, Moon,
Moon signing off.
and hopefully I'll have this uploaded shortly.
Sweet.